I am really sad about all of this because this is my uterus, and while I get to keep my ovaries, this is part of this symbolism of my femininity. So I'm in Springfield, and I am on my way to the pre-surgery center to have my pre-surgery testing done for the hysterectomy that is required because of the cervical cancer. Okay, I'm here. I'm running a little bit late. I gotta run in. Okay, now I'm going up for an x-ray. I am currently at one of the conservation trails in Springfield, Missouri. I had my pre-surgery testing this morning for my hysterectomy that I'm going to have on December 1st. And once I got done with all of that testing, I decided that I needed a little bit of time out in nature just to kind of process everything and take some opportunities to update you all on what is going on. So that brings me up to January of this year, January 2022. I had a routine mammogram, which did come back in normal range, but they did not do the 3D ultrasound or the more advanced test, which I require because of the density of my tissue. So that mammogram is reordered, and the new one came back with some abnormal spots in it, which then led to, that was in the end of January. So February, March, and April were spent doing further testing to see if this was just normal lump that comes and goes during your cycle, if it was a cyst, if it was cancer. So in April of 2022, April of this year, I went to my primary doctor. The ducks are talking. I went to my primary doctor and I asked if I could have a pap smear, which I was not due for I believe another 2 years, because with the new guidelines I was now on a 3 to 5 year rotation, or 3 to 5 year time frame between tests. So that was in April of 2022. I had my pap smear. On Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, I had my final ultrasound for my breasts, and the end result was they think that it is a cyst that is deep behind the nipple on my right side, and to come back in 1 year and have another mammogram. In the meantime, the pap smear came back abnormal. But I did not find this out until July of 2022, when I went in for another routine doctor's appointment, and my primary doctor happened to say, "Oh, hey, did anyone ever call you and tell you that your pap smear was abnormal?" So I was given the option to wait and do another pap smear in a year. So then I would be going back in April of 2023, or I could be referred out to an OBGYN for further testing, which is what I opted to do. So to do further testing and to follow insurance protocol, I was scheduled for a cone biopsy, which is just that. It is a biopsy that goes in and actually takes like a cone-shaped piece of tissue out of the cervix, and they get as much of the endocervix, ectocervix, and into the walls to test for, and I'm going to butcher this word, but to test for squamous cell, which is the most common cervical cancer, and to test for the adenocarcinoma cells, which are the more invasive or aggressive forms of cervical cancer. So I was scheduled for that on September 20th. But when I went in to have my pre-surgery testing on September 16th, my EKG came back abnormal. And there was not enough time to redo it before the surgery on the 20th. So that was postponed until I could meet with the cardiologist and have a more advanced workup. So I met with a cardiologist, I think a week later, and I had an echocardiogram done and eventually got the all clear, and my cone biopsy was rescheduled to October 11th. It is so pretty here. If you're ever in the Springfield area, Springfield, Missouri area, you need to check this conservation area out. I will put information on how to find it in the description down below. So that, I forgot where I left off. So the results for my cone biopsy came back that there was still the AIS present, and while they removed some of it during the biopsy, there were new spots that needed to be removed, and really the only way to stop the progression of it at that point is to have a hysterectomy. So the referral was made over to Dr. Hernandez, who is a GYN oncologist in Springfield, and her office, they had their pathologist read the tissue, or redo the pathology. I'm not really sure how that would work, from the cone biopsy from the 11th. And they found that it was actually a little bit more advanced than what I had been told in Joplin. And the only way to stop this is to absolutely, without a doubt, have a hysterectomy. I get to keep my ovaries unless they get in there and they discover that things are worse than they were thinking. I am having a robotic surgery, which means that they do not cut me open. They go in and they open up the uterus. They look for other signs of the cancer, signs of tumors. And if all is clear, then they break it into pieces and remove it through the little incisions that they make in the abdomen. If there are signs of cancer or tumors, then they take biopsies and they do, I believe, what is called a midline, or they open up and they remove the uterus that way. They're also going to look at my liver and my pancreas while they're in, and then we'll make a plan as to what further treatment needs to be done, if any. I am really sad about all of this. because this is my uterus, and while I get to keep my ovaries, this is part of this symbolism of my femininity. And it is the first home that my babies had. And in the case of some of my babies that never made it beyond pregnancy, it is the only home that they had. And it is losing a piece of me that, as absurd as it may seem to some people, it is an important part of how I identify and how I feel. And while I was not going to have more children, it takes away that potential of having a baby. I had offered to be a surrogate for a family member, and so that takes that opportunity away. And then I'm really scared of having it spread either in my uterus or in other parts of my body, and what that could potentially mean. So this has not been an easy time for any of us, and I have not felt well for a really long time. Also, after the cone biopsy, my cervix did not heal like it's supposed to, and so I constantly feel like I am in labor. So anyone that's ever had a baby, you know what that feeling is, and it never goes away, so that's not fun. And so it has limited my activities, and just led to some anxiety and emotional issues, or emotional just some emotions. So that is the journey that I am on, and I'll have more details after December 1st if that is the end of that part of the journey and I begin a new one post-surgery, or if further treatments will be needed, and I will make sure I keep everyone updated. Thank you very much for following along, and please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up to keep me in the algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below if any of you have gone through a similar situation or know someone who has. And all of that helps support my channel and keep my videos being seen and keep my channel growing, because right now this is the only potential that I have for having an income. As horrible as that is to say, I've been out of work for a while and will continue to be out of work for a while, and if this channel goes anywhere, then it has the ability to bring in a little bit of passive income for my household, which would really help a lot. So again, I thank you all for your support, and have a lovely Thursday. Bye.